We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Miami Dolphins UDFA Keidron Smith. I'm gonna start doing some undrafted free agents on the channel, guys that I think have a good chance of making the team, and that I can just get film on in general because it's a lot harder for these guys. He's physical, good in run support, like can play some press as well. He's got good coverage versatility, strong tackler. Like he can do pretty much anything that you ask of him, but he always just puts himself in a really strong, good position throughout. He plays with good leverage in his routes. Playing, man, press man, off man coverage, any type of zone coverage as well. I think he's a great fit in Vic Fangio's scheme. The biggest problem to his game is, and the reason he went undrafted, is his athletic ability. He's not the fastest guy. He doesn't have the best acceleration or change of direction skills, but he makes up for that, I think, enough with his football intelligence. And I think a path to him making a team at the next level is switching to safety. I think he has a very strong chance of him switching to safety because he's a very safety-like skill set. With his ability and run support, you can maybe match him up versus tight ends where he doesn't have to be as athletic versus tight ends compared to wide receivers. And then this happens a lot, like guys who are super intelligent football players, they end up, at the corner position, they end up switching to safety. And I think that's a strong path for Keidron Smith. I think he has a chance to make this team. Obviously, it's going to be very tough because he's going against, a very stacked DB room and at the Dolphins. And they have a lot of depth as well. And we'll see if he can make the team. But I think there's a chance as a safety at the next level. So really like watching Keidron Smith play. Very smart, intelligent football player, great size, and that's basically what makes him special. His special traits right there, that intelligence and his physicality make those tackles, run support, all very helpful stuff. Here we got Keidron Smith matched up on the outside. They're playing like in a zone match look here. This is exactly what he would do in the Dolphins defense. And he just does a great job staying over the top, like getting this interception. He's got good ball skills. We'll watch this initially. Like he just seems to know. He has like this innate feel of when it's a double move and when they're gonna sit. Like when they sit, he'll close as fast as he possibly can. But when he just like reads the body language of this receiver, how straight he's standing up, he's expecting this to keep going, and he just snaps his eyes back to the QB. Opens up his hips there, showing off some fluidity. He's not the most fluid guy, but it's nice to see him doing these types of things, staying patient in his coverage. He plays with great eyes, great discipline, very good footwork. He plays with efficient feet. He knows how to be technical in that area, which makes his transitions be a little more smooth for him not being the greatest athlete. And then just ball skills, track this all the way in. I love watching just extremely smart football players play, especially at the DB position, that's what I played. And just super intelligent stuff right here. Staying over the top, great positioning, great leverage. Knows that, this guy hasn't pressed up into him yet, so he can just go over the top, track that in, and get this nice interception. Another thing that if he played corner at the next level that he would do in Fangio's system, kind of showing like a quarters look pre-snap, but he stays flat foot that was shown. We'll watch this from, a little more slowly. He's just reading the QB's eyes from this position, his drop, and just watch, since Richardson instantly just boom, one step. He knows he can stay flat-footed. He's just reading the eyes. He sees the drop. He knows the ball is going to come out quickly just based on the one-step drop. So he's already ready to releasing it. Just a highly, highly intelligent football player. Here at the bottom of the screen, down in the red zone, we got him in soft press. And he does a great job of playing this ball in his position here. He's willing to get physical as well. Like, he's not in, like, super bump and run press. Like, he's in a more of a soft. But he stays patient, stays square, allows the receiver to come to him. And then once he does, he activates those feet, opens it up, and then gets like a two-hand jam on him. He has the size and length to do this, and now he's just staying in the hip pocket of the receiver over the top. And just based on his leverage right here, he's on high upfield shoulder leverage. He knows this ball is most likely going to be thrown to the back shoulder, so he turns into the receiver to play the ball, not turn away from them, and just boom, right at the catch point. Textbook stuff from start to finish. Everything from the the technique and coverage to playing the ball at the catch point, understanding how they're going to try to attack you. Great stuff. Like, he has enough athleticism in college to play the receivers, but I actually like him as sort of like a tight end eraser type of player at the next level. If he ends up, developing nicely, he can play versus the run, as we'll get to see here pretty shortly. He's very physical, and he just sees things very well. Keidron Smith at the top of the screen. Great job key and diagnosing again. He's actually supposed to bail out of this pre-snap, but to get down and make this tackle behind the line of scrimmage is super impressive. Like, he's playing in like a press look, but he's bailing out like he's going to, become a deep third, deep fourth type of corner. But once this running back motions out, he's still keying this, reading the QB's eyes, and now he sticks that foot in the ground. He actually transitions pretty nicely here from this zone turned position to completely get downhill at that type of angle is pretty tough. but then come down, make this tackle with his teammate here, puts himself in a great positioning, keeping that outside just in case, doesn't want to, give up his contain. He's really smart with his responsibilities, whether it be on like type screen, swing passes, run support. He knows how to, help get his guys back to help on these types of tackles. These types of plays are why I think Smith has a great chance of being a safety, down in the box. Like, he can do pretty much it all. Just for being a corner, he's such a good run support player. Like, third to the boundary here, short field, and he's got his run responsibility. They're coming to his side, and he just completely squares up. He's got his eyes to the back, but feels this block. He squares up, uses his length. You can see the shock and power of his hands to create this space between him and the receiver, and now he's in complete control, has the outside as well, so he can force this back into the inside, but the running back tries to work out to him, so he just completely tackles him, squares him up, makes this tackle for a loss. About as textbook as it gets as a run support defender as a corner. And like, just this is really good stuff. Stay square. He shuffles his feet, uses now once he's in great positioning here. This is perfect spot. Get inside that inside chest of the receiver. Hold your outside. Now he used that left hand to create the space again, which then gives him another great spot to be like that force defender and then finish for the tackle. Really good stuff. Here we got him in run support again, but this time to the field side, so he's got a lot more space to work with. He's a little more off here, and he just attacks the receiver, blows him up. And instead of, working on the outside shoulder, he sees he has the opportunity, just with how much space there is, to just get to the inside, but still maintain the outside force here, and then help make this tackle near the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 now becomes a 3rd and 10 because he's such a good player in run support on the edge. He's a consistent tackler too, but I love how aggressive he gets versus blocks, just blowing up wide receivers. That's the reason I think he can play safety, go against tight ends, because with how dominant he is versus receivers trying to block him, I think it would be a much better, more fair battle when he's going against tight ends who, to be honest, most tight ends aren't that great of blockers at the next level either. A lot of corners, a lot of DBs don't make this type of play. He's bailing out here, but they end up running to his side, and so he has to transition downfield, use that outside hand to, get off this tackle. Like, there is all this space here. Once he gets the outside at this position, he should get a first down, but Smith is able to transition downfield. He takes some extra steps. He's not the most athletic guy, doesn't have the best change of direction skills, but he gets down, leans into the receiver, so he can have this outside leverage on him, use that left hand to keep his chest free, so then he can get downhill. Now is in great position to make this tackle, squares him up completely. Great open field work from him. Physical, tosses him to the sideline, then limits this to, a 40-yard run, which could have been a much bigger play. And those types of things, I think, add up as a DB. And I just think he can transition to be that safety next level. His most likely path to making the roster is probably on the practice squad, and then possibly, getting elevated if there's injuries, which there always is at defensive back. So I think, you probably see him I think there's a good chance you see him on the roster at some point next season if it's not there right away. I just want to show all the different types of ways Smith can be impactful first the run. And this is super important in Fangio's defense because they play in a lot of light boxes. So they like to have their DBs in this types of shells. Like this is a very good example of what you would see Fangio quarters look pre-snap. It ends up being a quarters look, and then you have your corners or your safety come down and help in run support. This time he doesn't have to face him the block. He's just anticipating. Like, look where the running back is, and he's transitioning downfield to get to the outside. He knows he has to contain this. He's already anticipating that this runner is going to get to the outside, so great work there just from a mental perspective. And then he closes, takes a great angle. He takes great angles in run support, and then finishes for a tackle only to be like a 2-yard gain. As a corner, that is super good stuff. It's a great job of just limiting Yak. I know this ends up being like a first down, but just when you're on an island and you're playing against like Tennessee creates so much space with their route concepts. I actually thought he played really good in this Tennessee game. Like, all the big touchdowns Tennessee had were the opposite side of the field. You know how they run those, like, if you ever watched Jalen Hyatt play, they run like the same, 3 concepts. Like, it's a lot of like wheel routes and, deep verticals, and guys get lost and end up being wide open. When they ran that stuff to his side, which I ran a lot, him and that safety did really good job communicating and staying in position. And they never really got those completions to his side of the field. They all came against the opposite side. And then when they did throw it to him, it was mostly on like the quick curls. And he closed instantly, and he pretty much never allowed any yards after the catch. This picks up a first down, obviously being 2nd and 2, but I mean, this is going to, be allowed by every corner when you're in this positioning right here. But limiting this yak is super impressive as much as possible. I don't think he allowed any yards after catch. He had multiple plays like this in this game. There's so many times he just, gets in this position, whether it's versus the run, a jet sweep, pitch pass forward like this, a quick swing, screen. He is there to make the tackle near and at around the line of scrimmage. He sees these things. He understands what they mean. They're trying to fake everything here with the flow, but he sees the pitch happen. He maintains the outside so this receiver can't get outside of him, and then forces him back inside to help where they can multiple people can make a tackle on him around the line of scrimmage. Just very patient, disciplined player. Sometimes it doesn't seem like he's doing a lot, but he's just making his life easier just by being patient, doing his responsibility, but also making his teammates' lives easier by forcing people back into them. Last play that I'm going to break down, not even really a play, it's a Senior Bowl rep. He actually got invited to the Senior Bowl as a late guy, I think because of his performance at one of the other sort of all-star games. And this is just textbook rep in press man coverage, which, this is type of stuff I think he can do just due to being patient. He stays square, active feet right here, just inching back, reading the receiver. Now he shoots both hands. You can see the length here. You really only want to shoot this inside hand, but he shoots both hands initially and then pulls that left hand away. And now, get that hand to this inside shoulder. So he's, understanding his job here. He's got high upfield shoulder positioning, so good leverage. And then now he's just trying to read the hips and the feet, sync, match this perfectly. Guy, hits his helmet, but it's off the throw. So just really good job from a processing standpoint, technique. Really where if he does make it, it will be in that type of, those things will very much help him. His instincts, his technique, technical skills. He plays with a little bit of a nuance to his game. His physicality, run support, tackling. Those are like the trademarks to his game. Hopefully, he gets a chance, I would say. I want to see him play some safety, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think he's going to move to safety. I've seen some places list him as a safety pre-draft. I just think that's where his skill set fits best. And that might be, honestly, where he has the best chance to make the roster, too, as a safety, because Dolphins have a lot of bodies at corner, and he shouldn't see the field even as a corner if he did make it there. Plus, he's going to be fighting guys like Trill Williams, Verone McKinley, probably someone else. There might be another spot, but I think he can make the roster. Maybe it's like a fifth safety. Has a chance in that area. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know who you want to see next. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.